Happy to see you each and everyone one more time. And in this Sunday, mostly this Sunday, always we used to do other items, but you guys are dedicated yourself to learn this Gen AI. It's very pleasure to have you again. And this 3 hours of time, it's not like just wasting time or something. Here we are going to see the live as we discussed earlier. And this session we are going to see about the Gen AI and how are we going to use and how can we use this as a live projects. Mainly in this session we are going to see about the coding things, actually not just like simple tools or something. We are going to see how we can able to extract the data from the files and we can generate the proper MCQs and all these things. This MCQs I'm just giving an example. Okay, so maybe we will see about how to use some other examples also. In the real time, how are we going to generate the data from the files? And the first example I'm going to see simple thing. The next one I'm going to see about the we are going to see about the how we can use. For example, I'm having around 40 to install all these things actually here. Okay, so any doubts guys till this step? I hope all are fine. So meanwhile, I will ask any polls. If you are okay with it, you can just give a poll actually. Okay. So the main thing, as I mentioned, to any AI, the first step is you have a data. Okay. You should have a big amount of data. Without data, this AI will not work actually. Useful for to retrieving the data. Now you may have another question like this is mostly if you are a working developer, you might know like how this AI will work comparing to the normal SQL, because this is the next step. For example, AI, mostly what we are saying, AI means it's just extracting the data, correct? But that is not the case. That is very, very wrong approach. Even I will address, take address which has yes. This will do everything for you actually here. Now, the same thing will not be applied to the AI, because AI, it looks like AI also doing the same thing, but that is not the case. In AI, what you can do, you can just give a prompt, as we all know. Get the same query, I can write it like get address which has, can having a project, you are having PDF files or whatever maybe. The first step is the data has to be converted into the embedding. Okay, this embedding will be stored in the vector DB. Sorry, vector DB. Okay, this vector DB, this is the first step. Understandable? The data will be converted into the embedding. The embedding will be stored into the vector DB. Now the next step is you want to do the retrieval, which means you want to do the search. Then what you need to do using the vector DB, you need to search based on the prompt that you are giving. It's a small prompt. It's not like not like bigger one. Search, then result. This result has to be sent to the LLM. Okay, this is what the concept of RAG actually here. So you are having your own data. Okay, your data, the data, yeah. So again 384, see how many embeddings are getting generated. Okay, so this is how whenever you are giving the data, it is generated, and for each data you are giving, the particular format will be generated. As I mentioned, this data is getting generated from the model called sentence transformers. Okay, there's the other model also available according to you. For example, if you're using a video embedding, then the model will be something different. If you're using an audio, that will be something different. If you're using a coding, there's a specifically will be available. But this sentence transformers mainly for generic purpose, general purpose. It can work with anything, but mainly for the text data actually. Okay, so this is how it just works for your application. This is how this embedding only we are going to store in the vector DB. So now we just know how to create this embedding based on this data actually here. Okay, so any doubts? Shall we go? Which is array 1. The documents is direct documents. You can just mention something like this. How many documents you are having? 4. So only I'm giving a 4 actually here. Okay, so now you may question like how we can do the dynamic. In order to do this dynamic, you need to use for loop, but as of now we don't have time, so I'm just implementing this thing actually here. So documents, 4 documents, we are doing a encoding here, embedding here, and the embedding is storing here. Totally 4 documents. This is the original document. Okay, so as of now the data is getting changed, so I am just doing a one more time. The training will happen. So now to do the training, I need to do the training now. So now for each and every data, the training will happen now. Okay, so it's going on. Yeah, now it is getting completed. Now go to the right hand side, give you a prompt. So I can ask one prompt related to the data. So what I can ask, what is Python? Now my question is, what is Python? Is it okay? So now if I run the program, which is, that's it. But now I'm having 1,000 files or maybe 100 files. Maybe you are having a project which has around a lot of files. So I want to read everything in one shot and creating the embedding, storing in the ChromaDB. This ChromaDB will call the search and go for the OLAM actually. Is it understandable? The same, previously we saw about the left hand side to store the data, right hand side to retrieve the data. The same way, here I will read the Python files, which is around 50 to 60 files I'm having in my system, and that files will create a embedding. That embedding will be stored in the ChromaDB. Now I want to generate the MCQ. The second step, I need to query the ChromaDB to find the related data. Again, the related data will go to the Olama, creating the MCQ actually. Okay. Here now, here only the RAG will come into the picture actually. Okay. Here, what are we going to do? Go to the thing. So here my MCQ Gen 1 is there actually. Okay. So here I am going to use taking time. As I mentioned, my system itself is taking time because the code which we are giving, it has very large amount of code. Yeah, it is working fine actually here. Now we will see what is output that it was generated from the LLM. So now I just copy paste into the text editor. Let's see how it works. Yeah, this is the result is getting generated. So what is, I clearly mentioned it has to generate only the try and exception. So this is the try block, answer B. What happens if there is the exception? What does the finally block will do? What is the following exceptions, general exceptions, all these things. Yeah. So now let me ask another question actually to the vector DB. That response will be generated here. Okay. What I now username and password. So first, what we need to do in the question, I need to mention get the MySQL username and password. Okay. So let's see whether this vector DB is able to get the result or not. If it record from select query. Okay. Maybe I can mention MySQL to appropriate. Now the same question I have to mention here also. I put something like this because every time instead of change, I just mention this is my vector DB question as well as the same question putting here also actually. Okay. Now let me run the program on poll here. So I asked whether you have doubt on Olama setup, Olama connect with Python and vector DB or embedding. Yeah, I have asked you the okay. So there's a spelling mistake in the question. That's fine. I hope you guys understood. So topic to explain. So I am asking whether you have doubt on Olama setup, Olama connect with Python, vector DB, embedding, or everything is fine. So yeah. So what topic you have doubt, you can just put it in the vote. I will just explain you one more time. Okay. So 2% is voted. Can you just give quick vote? Then accordingly, I just do it. Okay. All okay. Super. Thank you.